I'll help you out. And,
When I installed these blink cameras in my office, I was basically a technological group.
I bought them 6 months ago.
Well, I had bought mine probably 8 months ago, and I finally got them installed. FYI, the code they want you to scan is inside the battery compartment.
Oh, okay. So don't put it up there until you get it.
Right, yeah.
Yes. I gotta put cool.
alrighty, it's 5 o'clock, and I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Alrighty, if everybody will stand, we'll begin with the pledge. That's your trap, and you want to lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alright, we'll move into reports and start with the Gilmer County High School varsity golf team. So Coach Wolf, I'll give the floor to you.
You're right. No, up there.
Don't really know what to tell you guys. Had a very successful year this year. As everybody knows, I'm sure we capped it off with another trip to Ogilvy for the state golf tournament. Unfortunately, as a team, it didn't go quite the way we were hoping. We all did improve from our scores last year. We do have 4 of our 5 golfers who attended are returning next year, so the future looks bright for whoever should lead the program next year. Very successful year. My most successful year as a coach as far as win-loss is concerned. We had a lot of growth and development. We were led by, for the most part, probably our most consistent golfer was Braylon Menser. Braylon, that means you stand up.
Me.
He is a junior. He was probably our most consistent guy all year. He's grown a lot. He's hopefully going to keep on working, and he'll be able to lead the team next year, along with our other junior, which is Austin Stewart. Austin really bailed us out at the end of the year. He had, let's be honest, it was a tough year at the beginning of the year, but Austin stayed very, very strong. He worked his tail off. I cannot commend his work ethic any more than, just saying that he is probably the hardest worker as far as on that team, because he was struggling at the beginning of the year and came out, ended up making all LKC tournament team, shooting an 80 at Mingo, and shot our low score at Riverside, which was an 82, and I think was probably top 10 there with total scores also. He also shot a great round. I think he was somewhere in the 85 range at the Battle of the Bridge also. So those two will be who will be leading the team next year as seniors. They will be trying to go for their, as Austin put as his goal, I'm sure it's Braylon's also, their 4-for-4 goal of making it to states as a team. So thank you guys. Then we have sophomore Seth Stewart. Seth is one of the best we got, as long as Seth just doesn't get in his own head. He's got a lot of skill. He's got a lot of natural gifts. He's got a lot of coaching. He's got that mean old big brother back there who's with him all the time, and he's got his dad who, if you ever want to hear something funny on a golf course, just go over and find AJ Stewart. If you like sarcasm, he's the man for you there. Seth shot the low round at States. He played a really good second day. He really just had one bad 9 on his first round. He shot an 86 at practice round, and then he shot 95 and then an 85 or an 88. So he did really good. Finished, I think, top 20. He was just a few strokes off. I wish that we hadn't had to spot because whenever you're at the state tournament, if you don't have somebody to do your spotting duty, you have to go and spot as a coach. But I think Seth would have easily gotten into that top 10 threshold right there. But he was a big contributor this year. And then we have our other sophomore. We have a lot of stewards on this team. Jimmy got asked several times what was wrong with his kid because he had the wrong last name apparently. But we have Jacob Stewart. Jacob decided to play golf this year and grace us with his presence. He was really the punching dummy for our jokes. We made a lot of jokes about his accent. He doesn't think he has one, but he has. If you've ever heard Jacob talk, he has a very, very thick accent. Jacob improved a lot. He dropped, I think, 15 strokes off of his average score since the beginning of the year. So he improved a lot. Hopefully he sticks with it. I think he's going to kind of be forced to because he was at Riverside and you only play 4 in regionals, but I take an extra in case, something were to happen, somebody gets sick or something like that. Jacob got so bored at the end while we were waiting for scores because we had to wait 2 hours for the last group to come in. Jacob went and bought a driver and went out and was hitting balls on the driving range. That's how bored Jacob got. So I'd say he's probably stuck in it now. But a great group. I cannot express to you anymore how great of a group and how commendable of a group that you had representing you as gentlemen up at Ogilvie and Riverside whenever we were in Gallipolis. Just a great group, and hopefully, as I said, Braylon, he improved this year, shot his best rounds that he shot at Ogilvie. Austin finished strong at Ogilvie, and as I said, 2 great rounds at Regionals LKC, so hopefully they will lead the charge next year, and, great things to come. We got some other players coming up, Unfortunately, Caden Putnam, I don't know where he's at. I guess he's at his girlfriend's, so we do not rank high enough for him to attend this meeting. I hope he's watching because I'll embarrass him there. But he this is his 2nd year playing. I'll just give him a little shine. He helped us out a lot with the steady score. Kind of struggled there at the end of he got the Ogilvie and he was like, what is this? This is not a golf course because it is very hilly, as all of our parents can tell because, they had to walk it this year with the golf cart situation. But anyway, great group of young men, and hopefully they will be back here next year with even better news to, make the county proud.
With the teams, with the coach, with the board members, if you guys could come up here and we can get a picture with everybody so we can post it out. Very proud of you guys' accomplishments this year.
Give you your little shot.
That was quick.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Yeah.
You are more welcome to stay, or you can go ahead on around, whatever you're gonna do.
Oh, you should stay. It's so much fun.
Alright, so that'll conclude reports, and we'll move on to the consent agenda and start with the minutes from September 25th, 2023 regular meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for the September 25th regular meeting.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the September 25th, 2023 regular meeting. Is there any further discussion to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Alright. Board, we'll move on to the treasurer's report. Christie, do you have anything for us?
The only thing I have is the schedule of checks to be written. Under treasurer.
Make a motion to approve the scheduled checks to be written.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the schedule of checks to be written. Is there any further discussion to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Alright, we'll move into new business and start with approval of the CPA firm for the annual audit. Christie or Dr. Benny, anybody?
Just, wanted to make the recommendation to go with Perry and Associates to perform the annual audit. This is one of the things we probably should have done back in the spring. We wanna make sure we have those audit firms put in place, and is a requirement that we need to do, and that's been the same audit firm that we have went with in the past.
Make a motion to approve the request to secure Perry and Associates to perform the annual audit.
It's just for the request to do a 3-year contract with the state-approved CPA firm. And at that point, we can approve from that list. I don't think we was going to look at options rather than just picking one.
I didn't know.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
Well, you're gonna have to help us out then, Christie, if you would want to recommend to approve someone off of the state's list.
Yes, we're requesting board approval for a 3-year contract with the state-approved CPA firm to do our annual audit in accordance with directions from the Chief Inspector Division of the State Tax Commission's office. And then after selecting, we would then need to form an audit selection review committee of myself, the board member, and someone else. And that doesn't have to be finance related.
So moved.
Yeah.
Steve,
I didn't know that.
you got something?
Yeah, it's a process that normally occurs in the spring. Sometimes it slips by. But the State Tax Commissioner's Office, the Chief Inspector's Division, requires a notice an official notice from the board that you're authorizing a CPA audit to happen. And then once you do that, a copy of this minutes gets sent to the State Tax Commissioner's Office. And then they send a packet to Christie, which she's already received the packet. But we're not sure why it didn't hit Charles' approval to get the packet. But then once that happens, she does an RFP, request for proposal, and she'll select some firms. The board, the State Tax Commissioner's Office has a listing of about 40 or so accounting firms, CPA firms, that they sanction to perform school board audits. And Christie will pick several of those, send the RFP out to them, and then their proposal will come back. And then this committee that she talks about is usually, it's always the treasurer, perhaps a board member, whenever you want to be, and then a layperson. I've served with many counties as the layperson. And then you select the firm to recommend to you all then to do audit. So it's a process that will take another 3, 4, 5 weeks to complete.
Okay, second.
Process for
All right.
process. Okay.
So there is a motion and a second on the floor to accept the treasurer CSBO, recommendation on the CPA firm for the annual audit. Okay. All right, so is there any further discussion to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. I guess, Dr. Minnie, my only other point to that is that this committee do we need to appoint a board member to that this evening, or can that be made at a later time? I mean, does that have to go on the paperwork too?
It can be made later time.
Okay, okay. Gotcha. All right, we'll move on to approval of closure of the tax account.
This was after consulting with Mr. Peer and other counties. The account has been used as a sweep account to pay our federal taxes and Social Security. Currently, it's only drawing about 0.002% interest. We would move those funds from that account to our United account, which we're currently drawing 3.8%. And this additional interest and so on would make it easier to reconcile back to Weavis. So I would like to make the recommendation to approve the request for closure of the tax account, which is known as the sweep account at United Bank.
I'll make a motion to approve the request for closure of the tax account at United Bank.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the request for closure of the tax account at United Bank. Is there any further discussion to that main motion?
I would assume that there was no requirements, that there was a separate account or anything for this stuff.
We checked that and could not find any.
Because
Correct.
historically, other than just having a pass-through to see the point, I just.
Right. We couldn't find anything that made us have a required sweep account.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Alrighty, we will move on to approval of food slicer bid for animal processing classroom.
You can see we've got some of those bids down there. We sent out bids to several companies. The one that came back that we'd like to make a recommendation for is Hooten Equipment for the amount of $21,719 for the food slicer for the animal processing classroom. There was one bid that was about $700 less than that, but it didn't have the same type of equipment and so forth when the bid came in. So we felt like we needed to go with the one that had everything that we desired.
Make a motion to approve bid for the food slicer from Hooten Equipment in the amount of $21,719 as presented by the superintendent.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded to approve the bid for the food slicer from Hooten Equipment in the amount of $21,719 as presented by the superintendent. Is there any further discussion of that main motion?
Does it have a 350 in it, is that what's on there? Or is that a small block in there?
I don't know, it's pretty big.
No.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Alright, we don't have any old business, so we'll move into personnel.
And that was clear.
Extracurricular.
I know this.
Going to make these following recommendations under extracurricular.
I need to recuse myself.
Oh, I'm sorry. Chapman recusing himself. Make the following recommendations for extracurricular hires. Amanda Trimble, auxiliary mini Titan cheerleading coach. Katrina Frederick Cowles, after-school credit recovery, GCHS. Andrea Russell, elementary basketball coach, 4th, 5th. Stephanie Chapman, elementary basketball coach, 2nd, 3rd. Clint Hartshorn, resignation, auxiliary elementary basketball, 4th, 5th. Taylor Somerville, resignation, auxiliary elementary basketball, 4th, 5th. Thomas Hamrick, resignation, auxiliary mini Titan wrestling coach.
Make a motion to approve the extracurricular portion of the personnel agenda as stated by the superintendent.
Second.
Okay, been properly moved and seconded to approve the extracurricular portion of the personnel agenda as presented by the superintendent. Is there any further discussion of that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, that concludes personnel. Mr. Chapman's returning. And we'll move into continuous improvement, Dr. Manning.
Just want to go down through, Gilmer County Schools will increase their on track to graduate rate from 71.92 to 80% by the end of this year, 2024. We've already made some significant improvement on these numbers, but that's one of our school goals that we've based our numbers off of. You notice every one of these meetings, I'm trying to tie back what we're doing to some of our school goals and just keeping that kind of focus on no matter what. We're spending our money towards our goals, we're working on our goals, we're thinking and talking about our goals. And I've got Mr. Payne, he's gonna give you some, hopefully some information, some insight about where we're at with our on track to graduate. These are students in the 10th grade cohort, and we must do better than, the 71%, and we're working on those types of improvements. And Mr. Payne is here. There was some requests to hear from Mr. Payne, and he is here to kind of go over those numbers and where we stand and give you an update.
Mr. Payne?
Thank you. Okay, at Gilmer High School, we have 68 sophomores right now. And that is what the state looks at for goal for graduation, is they track that sophomore cohort. And in the past, sophomores are difficult to be on track for graduation. As I dug down into the data today with the counselor, it's not as bad as I first thought it was, so I actually have some pretty decent news with it. We have, right now, we have 12 students that are at a D average out of the 68. 3 of those students are only 0.2 of a point away of having a 2.0. So those are an easy flip for us when you look at them. We also have 3 students in the SAT program at the high school. So we have implemented SAT there already. For these students, each of these 12, we have also mailed home report card or midterms. If they had a D or an F on their midterm, it was mailed home to the physical address. We also give a copy to the student, but sometimes that copy never makes it home. So we always mail them. The biggest thing is when looking at on track to graduation though, for the first 9 weeks, we want everybody to have a 2.0 of course, but we have to look at credits. Right now, they have had 8 chances. So typically, they should have around 8 credits. But the cutoff is 6. And I've only got 1 student that has 6 or less credits within this cohort. Everybody else has at least 7 or 8. So when you look at 4 years, they have 8 chances per year to earn 8 credits. But how many credits do we need for graduation? 22.
So explain that to me a minute.
Okay.
So credits, is that equals 1 credit, 1 class?
Mhm.
So that would be like their math classes and their English
Yes.
classes and whatever electives they're required.
Yes.
And they have to have so many of those to graduate, and they have to have so many to be on track.
On track. Right
So they
now,
have to
they
have
should have a
credits.
minimum of 6 or 7 of more.
So they have to have the credits, and they have to have what grade in that class for it to count as a credit?
A D. A D.
Okay. All right, so they have to have the credits and they have to.
Mhm. They have to have that. So we've only got 1 in that as of right now, and I'm hoping to get that 1 credit recovered. We do have the chances at the high school to stick them in a credit recovery option if their schedule allows it. And if not, that's why we also host summer school and credit recovery to give them a chance to make that up. So they can do it one of 3 ways. We can, if their schedule allows, we'll do it during the day in a 45-minute period in the library with Ms. Parker. If not, we can also assign it right now after school with after-school tutoring, which is held 4 days a week. If that doesn't work out, we will run a summer program again, and we can get it that way as well. But they've got 32 chances in 4 years to gain 22 credits. And with only 1 kid being credit deficient right now, I'm extremely happy with that. I hope to get that 1 kid straightened out by the end of the first semester. I'm not sure if we're going to or not, but we are trying.
So does that automatically qualify that kid for a SAT?
It could.
I just wondered if we could double down on those
I can double
kids
down on that one.
that
Most
are,
definitely.
you know,
I have no problem
On the
going back
line.
and saying, I would like to see this kid in SAT. SAT coordinator reaches out to parents and I set up a meeting.
a little bit one-on-one.
And I know the kid already, and the kid's in SAT already. So it's a work in progress. We do know the child, so we're going to give all the supports we can at this point. So it's not a lost cause by any means, and we're still only a sophomore. But as far as the grade card goes for the county and goal to graduate, so far at first 9 weeks, this is a big improvement.
Well, that's good. And I mean, the early identification, I think, is good.
The early talking about it and identifying it, yes.
Yeah, because we can change it if we know about it early and
Mhm.
focus our resources.
Yeah, it's hard to change a grade when you fail 2 to 3
Yeah,
quarters of the year, then you only have
Yeah,
1 9
there's
weeks
no-
left to
there's
make
no
it up.
comeback.
How, sometimes you can't come out that hard.
yeah.
And having one out of 68 is obviously better than 71%. So
Right.
we should be on track to meet that 80% goal.
And I mean, I think maybe that's where we were losing it before is someone specifically drilling down on that and saying this, and this kid needs intervention. But it sounds like Mr. Payne has that all under control.
We're working at it. Any other questions from you guys, for the high school?
I just glad to see you here, Mr. Payne. I actually asked to see you because I haven't, and I've heard nothing but good things. And just to thank you, you know.
Appreciate
Teachers
it.
are happy, kids are happy. I mean, I hear it all in the community.
Yeah.
And then as far as, you know, the on track to graduate, you know, with low number classes and our class sizes that seem to keep shrinking. I know that we have some fluctuation there, but, you know, I learned at a very young age, when you have a math test with 50 questions and you have a math test with 10 questions, you can't afford to miss any when you only have 10 questions. And that's kind of, you know, with our students, every one of them are important to us, and we want to see them all because every one of them makes a difference for everybody. So,
We are shrinking. Actually, the sophomore class at 68 is one of our bigger ones right now.
yeah, so that's what I say. That just even more. Every kid counts here in this county, and we're going to work with everyone to try to get them to graduate. So, it's awesome.
Good job.
Thank you, guys.
Right, we'll move on out of continuous improvement, go to the superintendent's update.
Just a few little things here. I want to thank Mr. Payne for putting those numbers together for us. I feel, have had a real breakout year with not only test scores, but with our operational effectiveness indicators. And I put a copy of that in your packet. I got this on Friday. I haven't had time to create a full presentation, but I wanted to make it known just in the public so the public knows, and I'll do a full state of the schools kind of address next time. But every single area from 2022 to 2023, ELA achievement, we were at 50.4, we went up to 51.9. Math achievement from 46.2, we went up to 47.9. ELA progress, 38.9, we went up to 47.2. Math progress from 43 to 54.64. Those are all big, significant leaps in a year. Attendance, we went from 30% chronically active to 27, which that's the way we want to be going. We want to be going down on that one. Discipline, we improved from 93% to 97%. Graduation 4-year rate, 93.3% to 93.5%. Graduation rate 5-year cohort, 92.3 in 2022 to 93.3. On track to graduate from 2022, 73.3 to 76. The one area that we need to do better is post-secondary achievement. I think that we've kind of got a plan for that. And just to report that we met every meet requirements on every grading scale with our operational effectiveness. And of course, you know, we had areas of concern last year, so we've improved every single area that we set out to improve. So I think that that's a big kudos to everybody we're working with, and try to just give you guys an update on that. The second thing I think is an area of concern that we met our requirements, but we need to really focus in is our CTE efficiency indicators. You can see that we did not receive any points for 6 through 8, and I think we got a plan to fix that. We're including Project Lead the Way down into the areas of the middle school. One of the areas that, and I'm going to have to work with Mr. Payne, and we're just going to have to chew on this and get this done. We barely met the indicators. We lost 15 points for work-based learning. Those things like work-based, co-op, internships, those types of real-world life experiences. We've got to get something together. We got 0 points on that. So we did meet the indicators. We did meet the efficiency indicators. But we do have some areas of growth there. And I wanted to give you guys an update on that and kind of do a celebration there because this year, October of last year, we were having all of the talk about how we're going to get this to improve. How long will it take? What will we need to do? And all of these areas have shown growth some of them, very significant growth in reading and math, and I think that those progress indicators should be shared, and I'll try to put something together for the public at our next meeting. Couple other things I just wanted to go over. We have Mr. Peer here, and I wanted to introduce him to you all. Very thankful for his service and him being a part of Gilmer County Schools. We don't know exactly what we would do without his guidance, and he's really helping us out, and really appreciate him being here and helping us all learn the pathway through our finance journey. We've got a lot of little things that we worked on today. There's a lot of good professional learning that was taking place in the schools, and I went out and personally spoke with lots of different teachers today. It feels like everybody is well aware we've got real positive growth taking place, and that the teachers just are really doing a really good job at trying, knowing the data, talking about the data, figuring out what we can improve in, creating programs that help iReady. The trainer came today and dug in deeper with iReady. We're really excited for that next benchmark. It's not till December. We're patiently waiting to see what our improvement status looks like for that. So we've got that going on. We also have put out the House Bill 3035 data with exactly how many students we have identified that needs assistance through each of our grade levels. We're working on all of those things as well, and right now we're continuing to focus on each one of these goals. Today it just so happens to be on track to graduate. That's one of those district goals that we have that we need to improve and get back in the green. So we have continued to work towards those goals, and I'm pretty confident that we're gonna, just like you saw on this scorecard and our effectiveness indicators, I'm pretty sure that we're gonna be pretty close to meeting all those goals. And we've got a whole another 9 weeks to work on these things, so. That's all I've got.
All righty, any board member comments? Start with Mr. Chapp.
Steve, I hope you don't mind, that's just what everybody refers to as Steve. I'm familiar with the last name. Thank you very much for coming in and getting us out of the jam and helping us train. Christy, I know it's good for her. She's from a local professional, and I like seeing her step up and do that, and you mentoring her. That means a lot to us. With this work-based learning, Tony, I see those zeros across there. Is that something that we need to partner with the businesses here in the community, and just for the public that's out there watching, who would they want to reach out to if they're willing to let a student come into their business?
We don't know that yet. We're going to have to create that whole program, but we are going to create.
I've got students, high school students work at my office before.
So that's kind of went away in the past, and we definitely want to build a co-op program, internship, work-based learning. That whole thing needs to be built back out, and that's one of the areas that shows on our report card from the state that we need to improve. So we haven't assigned any of that. That just came out this Friday. I haven't even showed that to Mr. Payne yet. We will meet, our coach team will work on that, and we'll come up with a plan of who might lead that at the high school and start reaching out to businesses that might be interested.
Okay. And then the only other thing, the old elephant in the room, man. I tell you what, this is really nice up here, this new podium stand or whatever. So kudos to the guys down at the Career Center and everybody that worked on that. This is really nice.
Dr. Miller.
I would like to take a minute to thank the Gilmer County Public Library. They've been doing lots of projects with our kids. The theater group didn't have a place to practice a few evenings, and the library let them use their back conference room and had snacks laid out for them when they got there. And so they've, really been partnering with the school and doing things to help the kids progress in their education. I would like to second a thank you to the Career Center. Beautiful beautiful setup here and looks so much nicer and more professional. And to Lisa for finding the chairs. They're so
Yeah,
much
Lisa.
better. I'm just really pleased everyone in the county is just working really hard. All these so hard to bring.
Mr. Furshire.
No comment. I think we've covered it.
And I'll just reiterate what everybody else said, thank you to Mr. Beer, thank you to Mr. Payne, the Career Center, I feel like, in the beginning of the school year, of course, every goal was to move forward, and you can see the progress already at this stage. And again, like Dr. Benny said, with, 3 more 9 weeks to go, we've got, room to continue to grow and keep excelling at the goals and stuff that we've set. So that's all I have. So at this time, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Meeting adjourned.
Christie.
Just make a comment. I'm so glad to see you selected someone vested in your community as your treasurer.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really, really important for me.
Kevin too.
Yeah, but anyway, I've been playing this game for almost 50 years, and the counties that succeed and do well are the counties